IVM.
Hey, if you like this show, then you should definitely check out another show on the IVM podcast network called Paisa Vaisa. It's a show hosted by Anupam Gupta that will clear all your personal finance doubts. From mutual funds to loans to SIPs, new episodes are out every Monday.
All right. Welcome to another episode of IVM Likes, guys. With no one else in the studio, no other producers joining me in the studio. Today we have a very special episode with Nikhil Dintakurthi. Am I saying it right, dude?
Yeah.
Nikhil Dintakurthi. He is our business developer at IVM Podcasts. Say hi, Nikhil.
Hello.
Yeah, I said hi. You said hello. You fired. Get out. No,
Oh my God.
it's all good. Nikhil is here joining us, and also joining us is our sound engineer, Hrishikesh. Hrishikesh, what's your full name?
Hey, Sagwekar.
I'm never getting that. Okay.
No, you got it right.
Did I say it right?
Yep.
Sagwekar. Okay. Hrishikesh Sagwekar and Nikhil Dintakurthi are joining us today. What's happening, guys? How's this coronavirus treating you?
I don't know, man.
I'm safe right now.
I'm safe right now, that's for sure.
I'm pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. This coronavirus thing is crazy, dude.
Yeah, man.
Literally, half our producers haven't shown up today because they live a little farther away,
That is
and it's scary. It's scary. What are you gonna do? But we are the brave souls who have braved this coronavirus, hailstorm and reached here. Fine. If you guys haven't heard an episode of IVM Likes before, we recommend some cool stuff we've been checking out recently in pop culture, say movies or TV shows or books, anything we want to recommend. And in the second half today, we'll be talking about some cool IVM shows that you can watch if you're quarantined at home, if you're under self-isolation, so to say. These are some cool shows that you should. These are some cool shows that we feel you should check out and watch or listen to. And so here goes. Starting off the episode.
Well, all the producers are like practicing the prevention is better than cure. When there
that's
is
so
actually
true.
No cure.
There's no cure, man. That is so scary already, dude.
Yeah.
So we actually planned to do an episode on plague movies, but then we realized, we just haven't seen enough plague movies, so we will talk about them. I've seen, I think, like only 28 days later or something, or like World War Z. Anyway, coming to this episode, who wants to start with the recommendation now? Hrishikesh, you want to start out?
I
Hrishikesh
will.
is shaking his head. Oh, Nikhil is owning up.
Yep.
He's stepping up. Nice. So Nikhil, go ahead.
So I have two recommendations today. So first one is a Netflix series. It's a 10-part series.
Yeah.
It's called Daybreak. It's released on 2019. So it's a post-apocalyptic comedy drama kind of a web series.
Okay.
It's actually taken from a comic book by Brian Ralph.
So I saw an episode of this. This is like the zombies in this. There are no adults, apparently.
Yeah, so basically, if you watch a trailer of the show, you will pretty much get the plot of it. It's not about the plot, it's about how the journey happens from there.
Yeah.
So there's a nuclear war happened in the show, and because of the radiation, everyone around and above 30 are dead. So only teens survive. So
below 20?
yeah, below 30. Below 30.
Oh.
So there are nerds, there are techies, there are people who are crazy.
So the vibe I got, it's like a high school comedy. But in a post-apocalypse world.
Exactly.
And,
so
looks great.
Yeah, what I like a lot in this show is how a character is portrayed throughout the show. Like you will. So one thing in the show I like at most is the constant breaking of the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And you will think that the show is starting with one specific thing, and every episode there is always a twist and turn, and it's always something that you are not expecting.
Really?
Yeah. And for me,
are you a fan of those kind of shows though, which always have an unresolved ending, or like what do you call those? A cliffhanger at the end?
Yeah, it is.
Like
It's
Nolan
always
movies.
exciting.
Like Christopher Nolan movies.
It's a normal movie.
Yeah, that is true.
Correct, dude.
Like sometimes I think that like endings can be many, right? It's always gives me an opportunity to think bigger, even though the director haven't thought through all the way.
Like the thing with me is that sometimes when there are too many cliffhangers, like if a particular show, every episode gives me a cliffhanger, I get a little irritated.
So
I'm not saying anything against David. I'm just saying like this me in general. I get a little irritated because I'll be like, hell, he's forcing me to watch again. Just tell me the entire plot of this thing and be done with it.
See, that's a part of the show concept, right? That's a creativity of the writers.
I'm just cribbing. If it's a good show, it's a good show and I still watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
But, that's what
so another thing I want to talk about the same show is I love when someone shows creativity during the credit scenes or the introduction scenes.
Oh, okay, I love that.
Yeah,
So this is how they introduce their characters. Or something
yeah, the way how they introduce the characters, the way how they introduce the starring by, co-starring by, all this information on the show title. Dude, the way how they do it is so unimaginable, and I just love the creativity that goes in that part. And also the set and the activity, everything looks very, very realistic, and I just feel that I've been involved into that activity. The way how they talk, everything is very, very clear.
Have you I talk about this movie a lot, but have you seen the movie Snatch by Guy Ritchie,
No,
starring Jason Statham, Brad Pitt?
No.
This movie is basically, this movie has a great editing and all starting up, and they also have a great title sequence when they are introducing their characters. And again, highly recommend that movie as well. But,
Sure, definitely.
Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But the cast is interesting. Like, I get to see a completely new set of people which I never came across.
These are actors we've not seen anywhere else,
Not
right?
seen anywhere. And the writing is also good. Like, pretty much everything is interesting. But the only bad thing about the show is they cancelled after first season.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
But did they leave it at a cliffhanger? And
it's not really a cliffhanger, but there is an opportunity to grow the story from there. I haven't read the comic books or the book part of it.
Okay.
So I am really interested to read these things once I found out where I can figure it out.
Okay.
It's by Brian Ralph.
Brian Ralph is the artist.
Yeah.
Okay, it's by Brian Ralph, but it's not under the publications of say Marvel or DC or some of the bigger publishers, is it? Is that true?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I'm right. Correct. So nice. It looks like a great show.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm looking up the artwork of the show, of the comic book, and the artwork is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
The colors are so great. So yeah, I know. The show, like, visually looks great.
Yeah.
Colors are great. The characters, again, seem very vibrant. I definitely need to check this out.
Sure, yeah. That's a great show.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my second...
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hrishikesh first and then we come back to you.
Sure.
Okay, Hrishikesh.
Right,
what
so
would you
my
like to recommend?
recommendation is a web series on Hulu called Wu-Tang and American Saga.
Wu-Tang and American Saga?
Yeah.
It's to do with the Wu-Tang clan?
Yeah. It is based on how the formation of the Wu-Tang clan, like how
Is it a live action show or is it an animated show?
No. It's like
A documentary?
a web series, 10-part episode web series.
Oh, okay, wow. So it's like drama. It's like a full drama
it's
show.
everything. Like,
oh, wow.
how they hustle to get where they are, like to get discovered.
I know.
Like to keep on making music, and like they literally hustled to just like they wanted to make music, but like there is a scene where the producer Riza, who is played by
Forgetting the name, maybe. It's fine. Have you heard of the show? Have you heard of the Wu-Tang Clan, Nikhil?
No, I haven't.
Wu-Tang Clan are...
who is played by Ashton Sanders, who is also in Moonlight and Straight Out of Compton.
Oh, okay, cool.
So like he wanted to buy an MPC, that is like a production system for making music, but he didn't have enough money. Like he used to like do drugs and stuff. Like he was a dealer.
Yeah.
So like he didn't make enough money, so he went down to like steal it.
Yeah.
And the guy like caught him, and he's like, if you steal it, if I let you go, then you won't be allowed in next time.
Wow.
It's like a really great show.
It's a Hulu show, is it?
Yeah.
And do you know how old this show is?
Oh, it came out last year, I think.
2019?
Yeah, September 4, 2019.
Oh, cool, man. Wow. Like, so you don't know who the Wu-Tang Clan are, right?
No.
The Wu-Tang Clan are one of the biggest rap groups in history, in American history. Highly influential. And there's a very cool fact, like this fun trivia kind of thing about the Wu-Tang Clan. They had like whatever number of albums they had their entire career. I think I want to say like early 2010s, late 2000s, early 2010s, they released like a secret album. Like just like one copy of this album. They ever published basically like this, they put their album, because they're so highly sought after, they put this album for bidding. Do you know this, Hrishikesh?
Yeah. No. They made an album.
Yeah,
but they didn't
release
publish it out.
Exactly. So the album was called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Yeah. Correct. So they didn't release it. They released like this one thing, and they said we put up for auction, and whoever buys this album, it's theirs. Nobody else will ever get this.
Wow.
And the person who bought it was this basically like this terrible troll called Martin Shkreli. Have you heard of Martin Shkreli? He was this EpiPen thing
famous
guy.
like pharmacist.
Famous pharmacist,
pharma industry.
But like a really big jerk. Like just a jerk, terrible. asshole that get beeped, but an asshole basically. And but that's a fun fact that this one copy of that album exists, and it's with Martin Shkreli. It's just a crazy thing. So that's fine. That's your first recommendation.
Yeah.
My first recommendation is something that I feel that anyone who's sitting at home right now doing nothing will have a great time with, because it is to do with, not making this up, a lot of sex stories. Okay, this is not anything dirty. This is a show on Comedy Central and in partnership with SiriusXM. It's by Nikki Glazer. It's a show called You Up with Nikki Glazer. Nikki Glazer is a very funny comedian. And like hilarious, dude, like so funny. Like you watch any interview of hers on Conan and you're dying laughing.
I just watched one before coming in.
The Conan interview?
Yeah.
The one where she's talking about micro penises? Yes, that's the one. Yes, correct.
I got it
very
recommended.
funny. So funny, dude. Nikki Glazer, love her so much. And so she has a radio show called You Up with Nikki Glazer. Again, as I said, on SiriusXM and on Comedy Central. And so she gets like her comedian friends and like actors to talk about, I don't know how she does it, but they talk about like very wild sex stories, okay? Very often they'll get to that, because that's basically Nikki Glazer's genre, okay? She talk a lot about the sex and whatever, like jokes about sexual parts and all of that
anatomy.
stuff. Human anatomy, yeah. Very, 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 very funny and very edgy. And on her show, so they talk about a lot of cool, funny sex stories. And this one particular video, if you can just search for it if you guys want, it's called Sex Stories Too Bizarre to Remember or something like that. Too Bizarre to Believe. Sex Stories Too Bizarre to Believe. Something like that. The episode's called. And basically it's the episode with Daniel Tosh and Chris DiStefano on it. Again, Daniel Tosh is a very funny comedian. Chris DiStefano is one of my favorite comedians ever. And they talk about just how Daniel Tosh got into a threesome with this lesbian couple who flew down from some other part of the world to London just to basically have sex with them, and it's just like a hilarious, amazing story. There's some other great interviews. There's an episode with Bob Saget, and he's on with Nikki Glazer, and that's again really funny. There's an episode with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is one of the most inspiring people you will ever listen to on anything. He was great on the Joe Rogan episode also. But on this episode, again, like the most inspiring. This guy is just hardworking, so great talk that again. So please check out You Up with Nikki Glazer. All episodes that I've watched up to now have been hilarious, and I would recommend the same to you guys. Nikhil, coming back to your recommendation. That's what you call the second recommendation on IVM Likes, by the way. It's called a recommendation.
So my second recommendation is this podcast. It's a mini series created by Wondery.
I just want to point out that every time, the entire time I was talking about Nikki Glazer and sex, Nikhil was very awkward. He was sitting there, okay, when will this sex talk get over? Yeah, Nikhil, sorry, your second recommendation.
Crazy. Yeah. So this show is called We Crashed: The Rise and Fall of WeWork. So WeWork, you guys know, right?
The
co-working space. Yeah. So WeWork has a very, very famous history. I mean, still happening, about how they created the empire of WeWork, how Adam, the founder of the company, how he raised his company to such a $1 billion company, and how it's falling down right now in the market, and where the mistakes are. So Wondery did a mini series with 7 episodes on like episode to episode, talking in a story format about how the whole journey of WeWork started, like how Adam created this idea and how he pitched it to SoftBank.
Where is it from, WeWork, the company?
So WeWork,
is it American?
Yeah, it's actually the guy who started this company is an Israeli, and he came to USA, and he did work on a couple of projects. I don't recall exactly what they are, and he started this community kind of a thing. So he believes personally on community building and like sharing and barter kind of a thing.
Have you been to any WeWorks, by the way, in Bombay?
Yeah, the WeWork in BKC.
Yeah, they're beautiful looking spaces.
Yeah, they are.
Like always, dude. I've been to the one in Powai, I've been to the one in BKC. They're just really beautiful looking, very chilled out, casual spaces where you do feel like going and working, and good coffee.
Sure.
Like IVM.
But there is a complete different side of the story to it, right? So this company was valuated as $47 billion company.
Wow.
Yeah. And like there's a very interesting story of how the whole curve was, how they started this whole journey, like who are the people invested in this company, what were the quick decisions.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story if you really want to know how a brand grown and fallen with silly and simple mistakes that they did.
This is not a podcast, is it?
It's a podcast. It's a
what's it called?
podcast series. It's called We Crashed.
We crashed. So
Yeah.
So this is just WeWork or everywhere? Every episode is a different.
So I'll tell you the format. So
Okay.
David Brown, who is also a creator for Business Wars, which is also a show by Wondery.
Okay.
So they released a complete different show, which is a mini series, just talking about WeWork and how their journey been.
Okay.
Yeah. So they talk about interviews. This whole podcast consists of interviews, clips, some really serious information that was not available out to the normal public when the whole activity was happening. And overall, it's a bingeable show. It's a 20-25 minute episode. It's a very, very interesting format. If you like how businesses are and if you like big decisions, by the way, that's another show that we have at IVM.
BQ Big Decision.
BQ Big Decisions.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I guess it sounds like a very interesting show for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much you get to know how whole WeWork started and developed. It's a great recommendation. You guys need to give a try listening to this show.
Oh, he's calling his own recommendation great. It's a great recommendation. Oh, very cool. Very nice. Hrishikesh, you want anything else to recommend?
Yeah, I have an app to recommend. Like, do you know the company KORG? KORG.
I think it's a
Like
games?
No. They make musical instruments and audio processors.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Like keyboards
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they actually launched a product a while ago called Causilator. So that app costs around $20. So it is like an mobile music production system.
Okay.
Like you can make program loops, you can make drum beats.
Oh, wow.
So now since a lot of people are staying at home because of the entire COVID-19 thing.
There's something to mess around with.
So
figure out.
for till 20th March, they are going to give that app for free, which actually costs like
smarties.
1,500
They're
rupees.
using this quarantine at home
Yeah.
for creators. Very cool. Very
But
smart.
it is a really great app,
Yeah.
like to make music. Like a lot of people might have downloaded the piano on their
yeah.
phones too.
Is this something you've downloaded?
Yeah.
Is this have you made something that we can listen to?
No.
Come
I'm
on,
still
do it,
like
man.
learning.
Do it. And let's just play the first thing you've made.
Okay, I
something
launched
saved.
the app now.
Okay, cool. He's launching the app. He's opening it up. Korg. What is the name of the app?
Causilator.
Causilator.
KAOSSILATOR.
Okay, Causilator. Okay.
So, like these are the sound.
Okay, these are the
So
sounds.
this is the sound of an organ lead.
Okay.
And you can
We can't hardly hear anything. Man. Oh, it's a techno sound. Very cool. Nice. Making music, guys. Slowly. Nice. Very cool.
you can
Oh,
like program
that's
drums.
groovy, man. Very groovy. Very cool.
So yeah,
Sweet.
that's my recommendation.
That's a cool app, man. That's a very cool, funky looking app. Also, I can
Yeah,
see the
yeah,
interface.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of colors. Very cool.
Yeah.
Coming down to my second recommendation is again something which I feel that you can watch at home, especially during this quarantine, because it is literally the easiest laughs you will ever have in your life. It is just you can tune out your brain, you can pay attention if you want anything, and you will be laughing regardless. It is a show called Impractical Jokers. Have you guys heard of this?
Of course.
Right? It's on Comedy Central all the time right now in India. Hrishikesh?
Right now, it's in Netflix as well.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on Netflix then also right now. And I think Netflix has only like a particular, I think till season 6 or something. They don't
Yeah,
have
I
all the
think-
seasons, yeah.
I think.
I think right now the season 10 or something is going on. And dude, literally no other show has been able to consistently make me laugh. Literally in every episode, I am dying laughing.
I
Because
think they go all out and they go like all
Yeah,
weird. Like,
exactly.
No one does that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree, man. It's literally one of the funniest shows that I've ever seen. It's basically about these 4 people. Otherwise they are like comedians and improvisers themselves. But on this show, they are a group of people called basically the improv group that they are a part of is called the Tenderloins. It's the 4 of them. That is Sal, Quinn, Murr, and Joe. And the 4 of them basically just go around. Not New York, in other parts of America, maybe sometimes they've gone out of America also. Basically doing challenges where 3 of them will be behind the camera and talking to the 4th person via earpiece. And basically he has to go around in public, talk to people. It's like Man on the Field. It's like a prank show. But the person with the earpiece has to do everything he's told. And if he doesn't, he loses. If he not able to achieve that, he loses. And it's literally, I'm not able to explain it that well, but it is literally one of the funniest things you will ever watch. For a while, for a good while. Watch everything. This is the best time to watch Impractical Jokers. Each episode is about 25 minutes max. And you'll be dying laughing in every episode. Great thing to watch alone. Great thing to watch with people. So, yeah. Go ahead, guys. Do that. Also, I remembered in the previous thing that I recommended, that's You Up with Nikhil Glazer. There are 2 parts to that one particular episode. The sex story is too crazy to believe. Wala episode. There's the first part. Daniel Tosh talks about... this is crazy, okay? I don't know if we can... show this, we'll have to beat this or not, but he talks about getting a foot job on a flight, and it's hilarious. The way he describes it is just hilarious. This is not that dirty, don't worry, guys. And the second part of the same episode is the one where he talks about those the lesbian couple coming to London and whatever, banging him out. Okay, that's the end of this first half, guys. Let's see you guys in the second half.
Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. I hope you're all safe this week. Coronavirus hasn't stopped us here at IVM yet, and it is our 5th anniversary. You should be aware of that, and we'd like to thank ourselves for that. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, HDFC Life and Paytm Money. Sponsors make this stuff possible. If you work for a brand which you think would benefit from sponsoring the show on IVM, please do reach out to us. We appreciate that. On Advertising is Dead, Varun is joined by Sarvesh Shashi, founder and CEO at Sarva, to talk about how he got into yoga, his Guruji's 7-year challenge for him, and how Jennifer Lopez, yes, the Jennifer Lopez, ended up investing in his dream. On IVM Likes, Alika, Antariksh and Sumit talk about some weird and bizarre shows and movies that they've seen. Uncle Please Sit just launched last week. On the first episode, Joel and Tushar debunk some common myths around the world middle class in their unique and satirical way. This week, listen to them talk about food and all the disinformation around it. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Dinkar just saw Pixar's new movie Onward. Tune in to find out what they thought of it. On Absolutely Right, Aditi is joined by Rachel Lopez. They dive into her personality by analyzing her handwriting. On the Empowering series, Zarina is joined by Rohit Taparia, Vice President of Isprava and Lohono Stays. They talk about the journey of an entrepreneur in the luxury home segment. And with that, let's get you back to your shows.
Okay, guys, in this second half of this episode, we want to talk about something that is near and dear to us. And what is more near to us if we are working at IVM Podcasts than IVM Podcasts? So what we're going to recommend are some cool episodes from certain shows. So basically, if we'll be recommending shows on IVM that we are fans of or we would like you guys to watch and we think would be a good thing to listen to while you are just at home and doing nothing or under this quarantine and self-isolation. So we'll recommend some cool episodes from those shows that we have heard or some of our favorite episodes from those shows. Because why not? We like these shows. We like these episodes. We recommend them. You guys have to listen to them. That's up to you. So please do listen to them. And starting us off again would be Nikhil. Nikhil, what are the... Say, let's do one show each because I think we each have 3 shows.
Sure.
That we want to talk about. Let's do the first show.
Sure.
Nikhil.
So the show I'm going to recommend right now is one of my favorite shows at IVM.
Yeah.
So before joining IVM, this is one of my favorite podcasts of all the time.
Yeah.
This is called the Sponge Podcast with Ambi Parmeshwaran.
Okay.
So Ambi Parmeshwaran is a brand builder.
Yeah.
He's a brand consultant. He worked with FCB Vulca.
Yeah.
So it's a story about, it's actually small pieces of stories of his life and his learnings that he wrote in a book called the Sponge Book.
Okay.
And we at IVM, we actually converted into a podcast.
Yeah.
Our founder Amit Doshi sat with Ambi Parmeshwaran and they discussed all the stories behind the scenes and stuff like that.
So each episode is Amit and Ambi together?
Correct.
Okay, nice.
And the episode I want to recommend is called The Self-Driven Driver.
Okay.
Yeah. So the story pretty much goes as the title says, The Self-Driven Driver.
Yeah.
I don't want to give any spoilers. It's a very sweet and short episode. I want you guys to listen to this episode and let us know what do you think about it.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That's, again, Sponge Podcast with Ambi Parmeshwaran.
Right.
Very cool, man. Very nice. Hrishikesh, do you have anything?
Yeah, like I've been here for like just 2 months.
Yeah, that's
so,
true. Yeah.
So those shows that I enjoy,
So all the shows are sad for 2 months. Watch them. Okay?
yeah, basically. But
yeah.
I would like tell advertising is dead. Like I
Advertising
have
is
fun.
dead. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So really good.
And you learn a bit more
Yeah.
every week about some aspect of advertising, and it's.
Like
I think Varun's a great interviewer.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
very
definitely.
And I just
It's very well constructed,
Yeah.
that is true.
conversation.
That is true.
Thanks, man. I'm the producer for that show. So that's compliments to me only.
And one more thing is, when I was in college in my postgrad, my professor used to recommend the show to me to watch. I mean, to listen to. Yes, of course,
Wow.
AID. Because Varun is a co-founder of the Glitch, and Glitch is one such company that we look up to on brand case studies and stuff like that.
Correct.
There's one show everyone recommended me to like listen to understand what's happening in the industry, like whom to listen to, what's happening in the content market space.
Yeah,
it's a great show.
great show. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Any particular episodes that you remember? I would say just he recently did a very cool AMA episode, which I really liked the format of, and it was all his idea, and it was basically. So he gets a lot of questions, right? People in advertising, people who want to get into advertising are looking for these answers to these questions that they don't really know, like how to get clients, how to start in the space of advertising, how to start in content writing, all these aspects of advertising. And what Varun did was he took all these questions. He gave first, so basically I would ask him a question. Okay, hey, this person has asked, how do you bag clients without having much on your portfolio to begin with? And Varun would give his answer. What he feels is the answer, and then he would cut to, okay, hey, I have say Harshil Karia from Shebang, who also has his opinion on this, his take on this answer. So here's what he has to say, and we would cut to Harshil's voice note that he has sent in for that, and I think that was a great episode. I would really recommend it. A great format for that. But typically it's an interview podcast where it's Varun and typically one other person who is interviewing in the space of advertising, and it's a lot of fun.
So like the episode that I would recommend will be episode number 62, Meme Sabha with Viraj and Pulke.
Yes, that is a lot of laughs.
Like you missed that episode. You weren't there.
I wasn't there that day, but I heard it because I have to listen to every episode of that. And again,
that was like
episode.
The most fun late night recording.
I know. It was
hilarious.
Pretty great. Nice. So that's a great recommendation, AID. And my recommendation is, this is a little self-centric, self-centered, little narcissistic, but there was a show on our network which is right now on a hiatus. It's called Varta Lab. It's hosted by Akash Mehta and Naveen Noruna, two very funny comedians who personally I'm a huge fan of as comedians as well. And please go and watch their stand-ups there's live stand-ups if you haven't yet checked it out. Varta Lab, the podcast Varta Lab, which is on our show, on our network, was basically about Naveen and Akash sitting together with normally a comedian, but someone in the creative space who they know personally, some of their friends, and they would just exchange stories, like cool things or bizarre, weird things that have happened to them in their careers or just regularly in life. One such episode is episode number season 2, episode 10. This is with Nivedita Prakasam. Nikhil is laughing because he knows what I'm gonna get to. This is an episode with Nivedita Prakasam, which I love. It's a great episode because, well, I'll just say it. They talk about me in the episode. And before joining IVM podcast, I was like, dude, what? Someone talked about me on a podcast. This is great. And again, like Akash and Naveen talking about me on a podcast was huge to me because, again, I look up to them as comedians. Basically, with Nivedita, they talk about these 3 incidences that happened. One was where someone in the audience was so I also produce stand-up comedy shows, and Nivedita was hosting one of our shows. She was the host, and someone in the audience in the front row, this drunk woman started heckling Nivedita. Okay, while the show's going on, she's like heckling Nivedita. Oh yeah, you should have more friends, because Nivedita has a bit about just not having enough friends. Something like that. So this woman's just heckling, oh, you should have more friends, you should do more this, do that way to make your life better, and whatever. And Nivedita takes her down and says that, okay, listen, you can't really heckle other comedians, because I'm the host. You can talk to me, you can make fun of me, but don't do that with other comedians on the lineup, because they get only 5, 6, 8 minutes, whatever they're doing the entire night. So don't waste their time. I'm the next comedian she calls on. And I come on, and this woman again starts heckling me. Okay. So now I take her down. Whatever. I said something like, she said a few things, and I said something like, hey, why are you so angry? And everyone just started laughing because, she was that angry and drunk. And turned out that woman just, in the middle of the show, this is a true story. She got up in the middle of the show and just left. While another comedian, like Rahul Pal's set was going on, another friend of mine, shout out to Rahul Pal, and she got up and just left during midway of his thing. So that's one story they talk about. The second story they talk about is I got into a physical altercation. This is true again. A physical altercation at a venue. We were running shows with this venue in Powai, I don't think I want to say the name. And the PR person of the venue, of the restaurant, was a friend of mine. I knew her for like 6-7 years. And we had a falling out. We did one show with them. We had a falling out. Say we weren't happy with the split that we were doing, like a split with a revenue split which wasn't suitable to us. So we were like, dude, we don't want to continue. We'll just take our business elsewhere, and which is fair. Anyway, like the maximum both of our parties could have earned the maximum with the sold out show was like 2K a night, which is ridiculous. Why would you want to continue if you want to just 2K a night, right? But these guys are like, no, how can you stop doing shows with us? You want to continue. So I went there to the restaurant. On a day we decide, okay, you go, you come, and we'll figure out the accounts for the first show that you guys did, and we'll talk about the second show. I'm like, okay, fine, yeah, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Luckily, what I did was, this is crazy, okay? I have never done this. Luckily, I put on my audio recorder before entering the restaurant, okay? So now I enter the restaurant. I'm like, you can listen to the recording if you ever get a hands on it. I don't know why I'm telling the listeners, because I don't know if I ever release it. But anyway, the recording starts with me just like whistling away. I'm whistling Ajeeb Dastai. I'm whistling that song. I can whistle, guys. And I enter the restaurant. And first day, this woman and she has her huge boyfriend, okay, there. Like a 6'4" height. Literally, dude, he's like bodybuilder, huge boyfriend. And so I'm sitting there, and she starts like slowly, she starts building up to start shouting at me, okay? And she like first she finishes the account and all, whatever accounting, okay, you owe me this much. I give her the money. We had it ready in an envelope. I give it to her.
Okay.
And then she starts shouting at me, okay, like, hey, you think you can just stop doing shows with us? And like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, what are you going to start shouting at me? I'm not a baby. I'm not a child. What is this? I'm going to leave, man. So I get her to leave. I start to exit the restaurant, and her boyfriend starts holding me back, okay, from the back of my collar. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You can't touch me. What the hell? I come out into the lobby, and this woman and her boyfriend have now followed me, okay? And she basically, a big scene is formed, okay? So she tells the watchman, कि इसको यहाँ से जाने मत दो. So a big crowd has formed. All the workers in the building are like, oh, what is happening?
Yeah, definitely.
Why is this woman shouting at this guy? And why is this 6'4" height person beating up this 5'7" height loser? Makes no sense.
Yep.
And don't say yup, don't agree with her. So she tells the watchman कि इसको यहाँ से जाने मत दो. इसने मेरे को इसने मेरे को छाती पे छुआ, which is crazy. I was there for literally 2 minutes. You can listen to everything on the audio. I can't prove it with the video right now because I just don't have it, but I'm sure the restaurant would still. She basically, this is in the height of the Me Too thing, okay? So I'm like losing my mind, like, oh shit, dude, like nobody's gonna even listen to my side of the story. I did nothing. I'm trying to escape. This woman is like pushing me in the audio, literally in the audio. I can be heard shouting, "Stop touching me!" And she can be heard going, "I'm gonna touch you. What the will you do?" Okay, this is her, dude. This is crazy. So I'm losing my mind. I don't know what to do. I cannot fight this guy or boyfriend.
Definitely.
Dude, there's no way in hell. So I'm like, dude, I just want to get done with it. I'm going to get out of here. I just rushed towards my car. My car was parked a little, like, I don't know, like 50 meters away. I rushed to my car. But she rushes to my car before me and stands at the door of my car, okay? So now I'm just like, I can't enter my car because if I try to open the door, she'll be like, "Oh, you try to like hit me or touch me or whatever again." So I'm just standing there. I don't know what to do. The boyfriend is still having a shouting at me. Another watchman comes and he's like, "Ma'am, sir, why are you guys making a commotion in the building? Don't do this." And I'm like, "Dude, there's nothing I can do. These guys are not letting me go into my car. Let me just leave." And she's like, "No, I'm gonna call the cops. And only then will I let you leave." Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you calling the cops? This is crazy. And she's telling the watchman, okay, watchman, like, why are you calling the cops? And she's like, yeah, because he cancelled shows with us. And I'm like, dude, you said I was just touching your chhati. You're back to shows. What is happening, you dumbass? So I'm like losing my mind. I don't know what to do. So while I'm fighting with her and her boyfriend, we have a shouting match. The watchman trying to calm us down. Okay, and you can hear this in the audio, okay? She calls up the cops.
Okay.
Like on the side, you can hear this in the audio. She calls up the cops and she goes, "I work for this women's group, whatever, the women's NGO or something. I forgot the name. It was some Powai Women Society, something that she was a part of." And she goes, "Okay, ये मैं यहाँ से इस women's संस्था से बोल रही हूँ और इस बंदे ने इस लड़के ने मेरे को बीच सड़क में छाती पे छुआ." We weren't even in बीच सड़क. We were sitting in a restaurant. How is that even possible, dude? I was there for literally 2 minutes and whatever, touching her. This is crazy. So I'm like devastated and I'm like, just get into my car and I leave. And whatever, while talking on the phone, she moved away from the car. So I was literally able to rush in, lock the door, and just leave. And I call her back in like 5 minutes later. I'm fuming, okay? I'm like so angry. My adrenaline is so high. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So I call her up. I'm like, dude, you better not have that CCTV footage cancelled. Like this threat level, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like, you better not have that CCTV footage deleted. I'm coming back for that with a warrant. Okay, so I say this, and I'm like feeling like a little more confident.
Yeah.
And in 10 minutes, I call up like all my comedian friends, okay? Like I call up my comedy producing partner, I call up Kashyap Sarup, I produce shows with him. Call him up like, hey man, dude, I don't know what happened, this is crazy. This woman is like mental, not cool. And I'm like fuming, I'm really angry. And like 10 minutes later, I start getting calls, and Truecaller tells me it's from Powai police station.
Oh my God.
Okay? So I'm like freaking out, like, oh, I know what has happened. This woman has gone to the police station, said some sob story, and now I'm getting arrested. This is it. My life is over. My career is done. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. Okay, and sorry, the story is taking a little too long, but this is what it is. Okay, so now I'm like freaking out. I don't know what to do. I call up Kashyap. Kashyap was like, yeah, dude, they called me up also. And because I guess the woman must have named him also in the thing. And so Kashyap was like, yeah, dude. So the cops are saying that we will have to go to the Powai police station. So I was on my way after this whole scuffle. I was on my way to Andheri West because I had a show in Andheri West, Prakash and I were producing a show. And so he's like, yeah, we'll have to go to Powai police station because they are saying that if this comes under compromising the dignity of a woman or something like that, that's the clause, and they have to book me under the clause. And within 1 hour, if there's a complaint filed, if that complaint is not addressed by the other party, they'll have to file an FIR, and I'll be arrested without an explanation, and then I'll be presented in court. That's where I can give my explanation. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, dude, my life is done. I don't know. I didn't do anything wrong. I did nothing. I'm like freaking out. Okay, and we are on our way to to the police station. Kashyap and I leave from the venue, and I call up my dad because Kashyap was like, dude, you need to call up your dad. Tell him, okay, this is what has happened. Yeah. This is not your fault, but you have to call him up. My dad turned out is very good friends with her boyfriend's father, the woman's boyfriend, the bodybuilder. His father is very good friends with my father. Yeah. It turns out, what are the odds? It's crazy. What a crazy world we live in. So my dad apparently had to call up his dad, say, dude, your son and his girlfriend are doing this dumb stuff. Please just figure it out. Because 10 minutes after that, I get a call. Kashyap gets a call from this sobbing woman who's like crocodile tears clearly because she's in front of the cops and she has to like show her sob story. And she's like saying, oh, I'm very displeased about this, like what is this shouldn't have happened, I'm apologetic about this happened. And dude, we have to just take it. And Kashyap, I remember this saying, yes, we are also very sad it ended up being like this, because Kashyap, dude, he knew the entire thing. He didn't have to say that, but just to get it done with, this is fine, it's done. That's the second story. It's a crazy story, right? Crazy. That's insane. And the third story is just another venue thing that we had that Naveen was the host for. And these are the 3 stories that you guys can just... Okay, I've given you a teaser of the first 2 stories. The third one, you can just figure out on the Vartalab episode with Nivedita Prakasa. Yeah. Then that's a long recommendation. Also, other episodes I'll recommend is the season 3, episode 1 with Atul Khatri on the show. Also, the season 1, episode 10 with Sonali Thakkar. And the season 2, episode 6 with Ankur Johar and Aranya Johar, brothers, and super talented duo. Okay, guys, that's it. I think that's a great point to end the episode at. Just a bizarre story of Antariksh almost getting arrested and losing his life. So yeah, that's actually over the years, this happened like 2 years back. Over the years, I've become good at telling the story, and also just I know where the interesting points are in the story now, basically. And it's just a crazy story. I still cannot believe that something like this ever happened to me. This is something you hear about, like some crazy friend will come to you, dude, this woman did crazy stuff to me. I don't know what is happening. I'm like, dude, that's never going to happen to me until it does. This is insane.
You never know.
Yeah, right. You never know, man. You can never trust anyone because you know what? Even crazier. I had known this woman for 6 to 7 years before that. It's not like we were meeting for the first time. It's not like this is not like even this venue producing show. This venue was like the first time working together. We have worked together. We've had an okay relationship. And dude, this woman is doing these crazy things to a friend. Okay, guys. I think this is as I said 2 minutes back, this is a great point to end the episode at. Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you, Hrishikesh, for joining us. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
It's
yeah.
my debut podcast.
hey, it's so cool, man. Hrishikesh also, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
debut podcast. Oh, wow. I took both of your words.
Well, as a,
this
as
is
a
great.
speaker, probably. Yeah.
Sorry, first time you're speaking in
Yeah.
a podcast. Yeah, very cool, very cool. So again, Nikhil, where can we find you online?
So you can find me on Instagram at wo_dimag_wala_ladka. Oh, dimag wala ladka.
Wo dimag wala ladka.
Yeah.
Like wow, dude, he has some very high opinions about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
My friends, please.
What do you call everyone else? वो दिमाग वाला लड़का नहीं है. नहीं, वो भी दिमाग वाला लड़का नहीं है. सिर्फ मैं ही दिमाग वाला लड़का. Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, cool. You follow him on Instagram at वो दिमाग वाला लड़का. Hrishikesh, where can you follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at @halftone.wave, like the
halftone.wave.
WAV.
Oh, because you're a sound engineer. So like
Kinda,
dot
yeah.
.mp3 dot
Yeah,
wave,
yeah,
dot AAC. Wow, very cool.
Dot JPEG.
Yeah, okay. That's not sound engineering. That's graphics.
Another extension.
Another extension. Okay, very cool. So that's where you can find Hrishikesh, and you can find me at Antariksh T on Instagram. I'm the only one with a straightforward name on Instagram, I guess. And Antariksh Track on Twitter. And if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or IVM Podcast website. Also, if you guys have any feedback for our shows or some interesting ideas for already existing shows, please, you can just mail to us at talktous@ivmpodcast.com. Thank you so much. See you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, the Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar, and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.
Hey, this is Shudaditya.
And I'm Amit Doshi.
And we host Shunya One.
It's a really fun podcast where we talk to some of the best entrepreneurs in the country.
Yes, talking about everything from their startup challenges to what they're building and all the future of technology right here.
So catch us on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you listen to your podcast from.